idea what you were saying.
Okay. We are back. We figured out
7.
on our previous take it's number 7 because we had an audio issue. So we're good. We're square now. Number 7. It's been weeks since we did a podcast, all Jordan's fault, even though I've been the one who's not been around to do the podcast. So somehow it's your fault. Your fault yesterday for flaking on training. So totally we don't have any new. Yeah, don't have any new rolling video, but we do have my competition to go through, so we're good to go there.
More importantly.
Yeah, but no, it worked out yesterday because one of my meetings in the middle of the day got canceled, which allowed me to do a jiu-jitsu class instead. So if I'm being totally honest, if I have the choice between rolling with Gorilla Jordan or rolling with like a bunch of super high-end jiu-jitsu athletes that like are training under an elite black belt, like
that hurts, Bill.
Probably gonna my chances of learning something, I like both. Like both, I get a lot of value out of both, 100%. But I usually try to schedule our sessions on the days that I can't make training at my jiu-jitsu academy. So that's a good, like it's not that I'm prioritizing them, although I totally am.
Well, maybe one day you'll be like me and you could stack them on the same day. Yeah, remember that one time I took a class and I rolled with you?
That was so impressive, and you did it that one time, and you never rolled again. Like I think that was the last day that you rolled. Like I think that
it was. Whoa! I'm getting too intense here.
You're like, I think I lost some gains because I was doing too much jiu-jitsu and not enough strength training or something. I mean,
no, that was a real thought. I'm not gonna lie.
You are looking a little small. Are you still on your? Are you still on your weight cut, or what's going on here?
Yeah, I mean, I'm still, being conscientious about it. There's no aggression applied towards it, but no, honestly, with me knowing that you're going to be out, I'm like, I'm going fucking heavy these next 2 weeks. Dude. I'm like, gonna crush my body. Dude, I don't have to worry.
Dude, okay. What you should have been thinking is, I can get 4 classes in this week and 4 classes in next week, and then when Bill comes back, he is going to be shocked at like I'm going to pull this sweep on him. I'm going to know what to do when I get into side. I'm going to learn a guard pass. Instead, you're like, I'm just gonna incline press the world and then go and do some deadlifts, and then the same thing is gonna happen when I roll with Bill. He's still gonna butterfly sweep me, and then like whatever. Like, no, dude. Like anytime I'm off from jiu-jitsu is your chance to make a gain. That thought didn't enter your head at all. It was literally just like, let me see what heavy weights I can lift.
100%. No, I did think to myself, because again, like I told you, like, the business has been picking up. So like the 7:00 classes that I would normally like, well, yeah, I'm going to do that today. Like I had clients. So it was like, I took on a new client at that 7 a.m. spot. So it was like,
tell him to come later, or better yet, get him to go to jiu-jitsu with you. Be like,
well, I know.
See if you can get a little profit sharing going.
Yeah, exactly. But no, I wanted to, because even when I was rolling with you just for that week, I mean, a lot of times I would hit it hard that Monday and Tuesday. I wouldn't work out until I rolled with you. And depending on how I felt, I may go do a workout after that, lighter day Thursday, and then hit it hard on Friday. So I was still getting 3 days hard a week, but I wanted the punishment on the body these last 2 weeks. So
dude, you want punishment on the body?
Nice light week.
If you want punishment on the body, go train jiu-jitsu 5 days in a row. I mean, like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Different kind of punishment. Hey, I did do a boxing class. And a Muay Thai class.
Lame.
Does that count for anything?
No. Congrats. You just learned stuff that is going to get defeated, and it's going to get defeated in an actual kind of fight. So, like,
maybe not. If you got enough, I'm pretty good defensive for a while, and you can rain down some blows and some elbows. it'd be hard to kind of, have your will and your sweeps and things like that if you get a couple, elbows raining down
Yeah,
on
but
you.
dude, you're training with a white belt that's 30 pounds lighter than you. Like,
True, true.
obviously, obviously, but like, if you're going against a 200-pound purple belt, God bless you. Like, I mean, good luck, dude. Like
These guys,
that's actually trying to mess you up. Not
it,
like casual rolling, like whatever.
aren't all purple belt like saints, like Zen level? They're on like the Nirvana level. So
I
these guys
mean,
aren't going to be trying to hurt me or choke me out, or they'd be like,
yeah,
"Chill,
I don't know
bro."
what
Uh
jujitsu
oh, did you
you're
freeze
learning.
up?
No,
Oh,
I'm here. Yeah, that was my just
uh.
like look of disdain, and I was like, oh, Jordan's quitting jujitsu again. I don't understand how we can have a Dad Fight Club podcast if Jordan just keeps on quitting jujitsu. But so just really quickly before we get into the rolls, I have a big, hyper huge announcement to make. Are you ready?
Uh oh, another competition.
No. No.
Oh.
Today in class, your boy submitted a purple belt.
Whoa. Wow. Using what? What'd you submit him with?
Rear naked choke. So I think he was a visiting purple belt. So not like, like one of the, like not a purple belt that came up through the academy from my understanding. Is those
Yeah.
guys just annihilate me. But he was visiting purple belt, came in. I played guard first. I did okay with him, but like he was very strong. He passed my guard, got to knee on belly a couple times. I managed to recover guard. But eventually I ended up passing and passed his guard, got to knee on belly, took his back, and then managed to sink a rear naked choke. And he told me afterwards, he was like, there was nothing I could do. Like I was stuck, and so it wasn't like a sympathy submission, type of thing. But at the same time,
Yeah.
like I'm guessing he probably wasn't the highest level purple belt that like you would ever see in your life. Maybe he was just promoted at a different academy. He was trying out ours or whatever the situation was. But like 2-stripe white belt, submitting a purple belt.
Did you just pop up really quick and look for your coach and make sure he fucking saw that shit? Like, hey,
Dude,
promotion?
I think that I am so far away from a blue belt, it's not even funny. Like Adam looks over at what I'm doing and he's just like, oh my god, like this guy again. Like
I would have stood up and been like, promoted tonight. I'm promoted, right? Promoted, coach.
I was pretty pumped. I'm not gonna lie, and like I had a great day today. Like I mean, I did very well against people that were significantly bigger than me. And then this purple belt was about my size, a little bit like shorter, but a lot stockier, kind of a little bit more like you. So I'm guessing he was my size. He might have weighed more. But yeah, dude, once I took his back, and like I took his back in a way that we just recently had been drilling, like over the last couple of weeks, like that, there's no better feeling than learning a new skill and then hitting it in a live roll against somebody that is pretty good. Like that's the coolest thing. I mean, you would say an extra 5 pounds on your bench press, but like, I mean, for the rest of it,
it probably feels much greater than when I was just able to realize that someone moved their foot in that position that's going to potentially give me that butter sweep. Like me,
yeah.
being aware of it, you know what I mean? Like in the theoretical, and then in a live roll, I'm like, oh, he's probably going to do that, and then try to, then stop it. So I can imagine, like, going to the next level and to submitting someone after training something for so long is a very good feeling.
As they say, knowing is half the battle, right? Now, you will also run into in jiu-jitsu knowing that something is coming and not being able to stop it. Now, that is like the worst feeling. So,
that is the worst feeling.
Like, and there will be times where like you're going to know that a butterfly sweep is coming, but you're not going to be able to stop it. And, whatever. Yeah. But, okay, enough about Bill's latest conquest. Let's go back to a previous conquest. Or not conquest, because I get submitted a lot.
You should have that purple belt on the podcast, do a little interview.
Yeah, were you actually letting Bill do this or not? Like, come on, let's be real here.
Oh,
Let's
big
be real.
moment. This was very exciting. Very exciting.
Yep, this is shot by Jordan. So any critiques? Oh, just before we get into this, what a bummer. So I edited out all the audio because it sort of messes with the podcast feed. But I wish that people could hear Jordan's coaching. So Jordan was cornering me for this because my coach was running around to other matches and stuff like that. And so Jordan's coaching basically added up to scramble.
Did say let him cook one time?
Yeah, one time you were like, let him cook.
Yeah.
But then after that, it was like scramble.
I had nothing. I think the most thing I told you to do was to breathe. Like that was like the biggest. Which I don't even know if you could hear that, but
no, I didn't hear anything. I didn't hear anything. At one point, when my coach eventually ended up coming over in the third match, I did hear him because I was like, "Who's that?" And I think I was like right over by him. But for most of the matches, like I didn't hear literally anything. I mean, I was super apprehensive going into these matches. I was super pumped. Like I had been there all day, right? So I weighed in at 9 a.m. and I didn't actually compete until like 4:45. The timing of my match kept on moving between like 4:30 and 5:30. So at like 4:30, it still said I was going to go at 5:10 or something. So Jordan and I went out and started just kind of like warming up a little bit, just getting the heart racing, or just up to a few BPMs up. And I looked at my phone again, and it was like, no, you're going now. So like we just had to bail on the warm up and just go and send it. So this is me walking in for the first match, and again, Jordan, like it was great having you there, man. Like it was definitely meant a lot to me and helped me a lot. So my game plan here was trying to do the stuff that we've been drilling, right? Like get a collar tie, do a little snap down, try to do an arm drag, just the basics, right? All the stuff that we've been drilling week after week. So let's see how this goes. Get that collar tie, went for the arm drag, didn't work out. Collar tie straight into the blast double, ended up getting him down. But I mean, this is as good as it gets in terms of starting a match. We are like 7 seconds into the match, and I'm already up 2-0, and with a pretty authoritative takedown.
Exactly.
Yeah, I can't say it really. Assertive. I can't really say it gets any better from here. You're going to see 2 white belts in close guard, which is like maybe the most boring thing to watch in the world. I really struggled after this match, figuring out what this guy's level was. Like he ended up winning a couple of matches. And like his coach was telling him stuff about like K guard and like these advanced guards. So like I assume he knew what those things were. But like it ended up being just a very close match, and none of us did anything particularly glamorous, but it was just a war the entire time. So he's got me in close guard. I'm just trying not to get caught in anything, and I'm trying to posture up, which I do right here. I've got one of his arms, so I go 2-on-1 on his left hand and try to posture up. We're just hand fighting. I'm just trying to stay safe though, right? Because like most of the submissions that white belts know. So one thing, by the way, that like would have been good to know is like when he opens his guard. Okay, so like I didn't know that he had opened his guard here. Like I've got so much stimulus coming in, I just totally whiffed on the fact that he had opened his guard. So like somebody yelling like his guard is open, like would have been super helpful. Take notes.
Yep, yeah, I
am. Another attempt at posturing up to then get out of his guard. And yeah, you're exposing yourself to stuff here, 100%. So I think he tries to sweep me. I saw it coming. I saw his legs, his hands coming out to try to grab my ankles. So I just immediately collapsed to prevent the sweep. So I get up, I see his hands go down like that. So I sort of saw it coming, so I went back down. So guard is open here, had no clue. Like, I really wish that I did. Like, this is almost cringeworthy to watch. So he's trying to do a hip bump sweep here, which I get hit with in a different fight. The referee's like, come on, guys, let's go. So I try to get up again. But I'm mostly just trying to stay safe, right? Like, I'm very wary of arm bars when I'm in this position. All right, so I managed to get back up to my feet, and I'm about to try to break the closed guard. I think that he almost sweeps me here. Yep. But I managed to keep posture. So this is all about hip height. Like, who can kind of stay highest once you both go down to the mat. So I kind of get my hips higher than his when we're both trying to come up. And at this point, now I'm into smash mode. So I'm almost past, I got past his knee shield. I've got the overhook on the head, which is sweet. I'm in pretty good position here. Hold on.
Going on the belly.
Sorry, this
the shield.
It's frozen on my side now for some reason.
You can see the shield now really well in this frozen position.
Okay, let me try again. Let me just go to the end. I'm gonna watch the video again, sorry. Going to a different fight first. Come on, guys. Do you see anything on your side?
I don't see anything. Oh, there it goes. I don't see the video yet, though. Oh, there it goes.
We'll edit this all out, don't worry.
Yeah.
I'm not going to edit it. I'm going to make our 4 viewers just sit through this brutal process.
Just tap that button twice, it'll fast forward it. Yeah, but already.
All right, let me see if I can get back to where we were.
There he goes. Shortly after that.
Okay, yeah. All right, but I managed to get his guard open here. So I pin his left knee, his right knee. I pinned it with my left knee. So the far side. You can't really see it here. It's on the far side, right? So I pinned it, and that's going to allow me to start coming in. So I've got the head over the head, my hand over his head. So I'm using my right forearm to block his hip from following me, so I can continue around the outside. See my right forearm
down there? Yeah.
But he still has the knee shield in right now. So I'm going to make this move. Watch this. So before I'm just pausing you right now. I'm going to dive. So right now I have my right arm down on the ground and my left arm is over his head, right? I'm going to end up diving and switching my hips. So I'm going to bring my left hip, the far side that you can't see right now, down to the mat and bring my left side across his body to get past the knee shield. Right there. See that? So that's how I defeated his knee shield.
Yeah.
And at this point, I have him flattened out in half guard. Like, this should be game over. Like, I don't know what happened here. Like, I think I was just like already gassing out. But like, this should legitimately be game over. Because like, once you get somebody flattened out in half guard, if you know what you're doing, you should be able to pass their guard and move up to side control or whatever. But he does a really good job of framing. So notice his frames, his left arm there, Jordan.
Yep. And then
framing on me. Yeah, no, right in my neck, man. Like my bulging right bicep, I'm already so freaking pumped. Like, it's like not even, it's unreal. So he's flattened out though. This should, and so like, watch, he just ends up, yeah, gosh, that's embarrassing. He would, yeah. And then at this point, I was like, okay, I'm going to stand up and try to pass again. And then when I stood up, homeboy just stood up. Like which is what a normal person would do. I get it. But like, I was just not expecting it at all, that you would like, cause like, I guess like in our class, in our classes, like
One
when
just
we're
stays
doing
down.
jiu-jitsu, like, yeah, you just stay down and like, okay, I'm playing guard,
Yeah.
you're gonna pass, like whatever. So it was just like,
Yeah.
all
You
right,
try
we
to draw a
somehow,
freaking headlock.
hold on, let me go back. That started a little bit earlier. Okay, so here we are. I actually was in a good position here. I was pretty bummed. So look, he had me in a headlock, but I had a body lock on him. I was about to take this dude down, like despite, the optics of it. and then
Ooh,
this
look
is,
at that
nice snap down. Who's that guy?
Yeah.
Look at this
I love
snap
it.
down. Boom. And then this is
Yeah,
another embarrassing moment. I was like in such a good position here. Like, I don't know what happened. Like, I can't believe he finished this takedown on me. Like, I was in a really good position here. I'm like, okay, time to start circling off to the side, maybe do a Darce choke, maybe take his back, pulled him down, went off to the side. And even here, I'm like, I'm good. And then, like, for some reason, I just, like, stopped turning around and stopped sprawling. And this dude was just like, all right, I'll take the takedown. And I was like, all right, I guess it's tied, like, not ideal. And then from here, this entire time, I'm like, this is my, my butterfly position, right? And he was staying high. So this is what you need to do to avoid the butterfly sweeps. At least, I mean, there's a million things you can do to avoid butterfly sweeps. But in this case, like, he was staying high that I couldn't really push off on him because he was staying so high. So he was almost trying to like body lock, but he wasn't really in the right position to do it. This was one of the things that made me kind of wonder, like, about his level, was because he wasn't really engaging in like a conventional sense. Like, when I say level, I just mean like how long he's been training, like yada yada yada. Because like he wasn't really engaging in a conventional sense against like a butterfly guard. So it threw me off, like, for sure. Like, I felt like I wasn't getting the type of leverage that I wanted to get, but I really didn't want it to go to a ref's decision. So I was like, I looked over, I saw the clock, and I was like, at some point, like, I just need to send this. So whenever I felt like I had even just like a moment of like leverage where he was like pressing down on me, as soon as I felt like he was pressing down on me at all, was the moment that I chose to send the butterfly sweep. And this was like a quarter of a sweep, like it was like, I didn't get him flying over like I get you flying over, like he was just like kind of a little bit off balance, but I managed to wrestle up from it, right? Like, so this is when you're like, scramble.
Exactly. The key coaching right there.
And then from here, I knew that I had like 20 seconds, and like, I can survive in somebody's close guard for 20 seconds. Like, I'm just going to body lock them, and I'm just going to put my head down and just like pretend I'm Jordan, basically, and like drive into them.
I was trying to refrain from like, just hold on. I was like, that part won't sound too good.
He sort of knew that like he was done, so he was started shrimping out and everything like that, and but there it is, everybody.
That was so sweet, dude.
I don't know. I love it. Sweet. Like, I looked back on that being like, I don't know how much jiu-jitsu I did, and
dude. Like, think of this. One, the aggressive and assertiveness of the collar tie in the beginning shook him, right? I mean, he was not prepared for that. The second time you guys stood up, he seemed to give it back to you almost equal, like he was a little bit more prepared for it. But if you think about it, again, back to what we were saying before you did this, the stuff that you had been training the collar tie, training the takedown, training the snap, you deployed all of those really well, very assertively, and I think a big thing from a coaching standpoint anyways, not necessarily quality technical coaching, but fighting to the end, right? Is you were poised enough to realize what the time was, realize what you needed to do, and kept fighting and working all the way to the end, and got the.
I mean, that was like a true white belt slugfest, like minimal technique deployed, mostly just a battle of like closed guard agony, like a couple of sweeps, a couple takedowns. Like it was a war from start to finish. I mean, I remember being 2 minutes into that and just being like, I am not going to make it the remaining 3 minutes. This is way, way, way more intense than any of the training that I had done. Um, just the grips. I mean, everything. Everything about it. Like when I was trying to pass his guard, like I said, when you get chest to chest, like in smash half guard, it's like that should be over. Like I do that every day, and I wouldn't like I'm still a white belt. Obviously, I'm not like amazing, but like I'm successful from smash half guard. Like I know what to do. I've got 4 or 5 different things that I can do. When I got there, like I was like my arms were so blown up, like, and we were like 2 minutes into the match, like so. I don't know. You want to test yourself, man. You want to actually get go. I mean, you remember what it was like, from wrestling. Like
Yeah,
that's to me
very
that seems
scary. Very scary.
definitely scary. I was,
Yeah.
full freak out mode over here. But okay, so let's move on to the glorious second match with Mr. Zercher Squats 315.
I know this guy. He was a nice guy, but you could.
Oh yeah.
I have a theory about it. I think I told you, like I think he hasn't won as much as he thought, so he was just gonna go straight renegade with this strategy in the tournament.
Yeah. My dad was actually talking about him when I went up and visited him last week, and like he like super cool dude, right?
Yeah,
I think you could argue that he may or may not like subscribe to the don't break your toys like that school of thought. Like I think he's like a freaking warrior, he was going out there, like to get the job done, like full stop. And I give him credit for that, but like I'm not out there to hurt people, and I don't think he was like really like trying to hurt people, but like he did, like for sure.
Yeah,
So.
I don't know. Well, you'll see how he just throws himself into it on yours, and then he did it. Let's just watch it first. But I don't. I think he was indifferent if people got hurt. I would say that. And they say, "Hey, we're in a competition." They sign up for the competition.
No, I
they
mean,
get hurt. That's probably
fair.
What he's thinking.
Like,
yeah,
that's fair. That's fair. All right, but this whole stand-up time though, like I felt very like I don't want to say I was weary of his strength, but I felt like I could snap him down. I felt like he didn't have a ton for me in terms of like shooting and that type of thing.
yeah.
But he was very composed too. Like he was not making big movements, right? Like watch this. Like he just gives me his hand. Watch. He's like, take it. And then he was like, I'm going to grab it. Like that right there, like showed me that he knew, like he had some things in mind. Like, white belt, right? Like none of us are like Gordon Ryan, right? Like none of us are like these amazing grapplers, right? But like that's a total thing, where like you can work off of anticipated reactions from people, right? Like he offers a hand, I take it, then he tries to take my hand. Maybe he was going to set up like some sort of a drag or whatever, right? But so I didn't feel like, super threatened, but I definitely felt like he wasn't doing crazy movements, and I felt like actually let me just restart. I felt effective on the snap.
Yep. Yeah, I saw it. Yeah, I know. I saw that. I like that. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, nice. Yeah. Have your moment. Hold on. It says Bill's browser preventing recording. Ask Bill to refresh the page. Well, we're back.
Okay, so I guess we're gonna have to stitch those together. But so I want to go over one critical thing that I just totally botched. That like I feel pretty, this is true white belt stuff, right? Yeah, my browser's definitely hurting, or something is. Come on, baby. So when I try to go to De La Hiva, I just make this super critical mistake that allows him to knee cut. So remember the knee cut that I've done on you a few times? Like let's just analyze this technique, okay? So right here is when I go to De La Hiva, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And what I fail to do is grab his right foot at the heel with my left hand. I didn't grab it. So that allows him, you'll see he shoots his right knee through my legs towards my far side hip.
Mm-hmm.
Right there. And he's able to scoot through. Now, I was able to frame and everything. Like, I was never in any trouble. Like, he was never going to pass my guard from that.
Yeah.
But I just totally botched De La Hiva, like, as a whole, which is a guard that I do all the time. So, anyways, homie has a sick straight ankle lock. So he competed the weekend after this, and I was like, dude, how did you do? And he was like 3 or 4 more straight ankle locks. And I was like, all right, like you got it, man. That's your thing. And I wish I had a thing, like that I did. But what he did to the dude that beat me, my God, like I hope that guy's walking now. Like, and he didn't tap. Like he could have tapped, right? Like that's the whole thing here. Okay.
He was gritting it out.
Like this guy, like I don't remember his name, but like the guy, I think his name is Patrick actually. I tapped the dude that we're about to watch here that ended up beating me, but it was like an interesting match at the very least. Like he just would not tap, and Patrick messed him up. And like I guess that's just
3 different times, right?
I know. I guess it's just like times. It's just like the first time I've seen something like that. But like if I go for a submission and I don't get it, like I just let it go and move on to something else. Like I don't think that's Patrick's vibe. I think
no.
I think his vibe is full send on that until he either walks home with the ankle or what. But like, I mean, that's his prerogative. Like, that's what we signed up for. Like, you can always tap, and like this dude just, so the guy that we'll watch the video of, like, he faced Patrick, like, I guess, like in the finals, and he ended up winning. This dude won all of his matches via submission, both in gi and no gi. This dude is a stud. I think his name was Marco or something. And like, he just absolutely worked everybody. He snaps me down to my knees here. Like, he made me feel like a small child. Like, I'm trying to stay composed, but like, it was like a real learning. Like, okay, I am pulling guard on this dude. Oh, it's the wrong one. Sorry. 6. Here we go. Yeah, but this dude snapped me down.
Wrong one again.
No.
Oh, you doubled.
No, this is right. Here we go. Not my fault.
I'm
Something
still seeing
messed
the
up
Patrick
here.
one.
That's not right, though. There's a 3-minute and 52-second one. Okay, this is not my fault, everybody. This is by far like the best, the best produced.
Really quick, really for the audience. Oh, okay, here we go. Yeah, here we go.
Okay.
I'm just going to comment about my lack of coaching skills.
Homie Marco, so he's like 30 years old. He's 10 years younger than me. And in the first couple of minutes of this, he snaps me down so hard, or first couple of seconds, that he snaps me down into pulling guard, basically. Like, I'm like, okay, I got this guy. I know he's submitted everybody else, but I can do this. Watch this. So I'm like, okay, next time I engage with this
anybody
guy,
that walks up to you like this, you should be worried.
Yeah, I'm pulling guard, and then homeboy immediately passes my guard, like like it wasn't even there, basically. I mean, I thought I would have a better. Yeah. Okay. So he eventually gets me. All right. Let me. But I'm still like trying to escape from side control. Here he finally flattens me up. I want to go through his guard passing for a second here, though. Okay. So this isn't the worst situation. I was trying to get to shin, where I could put my shin against his, push, and then get to something called single leg X. Like, he just totally does what he wants with me, though. Like there's my shin to shin action. He pushes me back. He knee cuts. And then from here, like, it's a battle. It's basically a race of me trying to get my legs in between his legs, or like a hook of some sort, and him continuing to go around the perimeter. Notice his right arm. It's doing the same thing that mine was in that previous match, right? He's blocking my hip from following him. So like, this is something that you really need to take notes on, Jordan, because like, you just kind of flop on me. Like, you're not actually doing a perimeter pass where like you're pivoting on an axis. He's pivoting on an axis, right? Like, he's going around a central point, and it's really hard to keep up with, right? So that's what, meanwhile, like, I'm thinking, can I grab a Kimura? Can I do anything? Mostly I'm just trying to frame. So I'm framing, and I'm actually sort of proud in how, like, so then I end up switching to this side, but then look, I get my frames back in again, right? Like, I managed to follow him quite a bit before he eventually passed my guard. So, I mean, watching him with the other guys, like, he passed their guards like butter. Like this, he at least spun me around like 3 times, like twice in one direction, and then spun me around in the other direction before he finally like got chest to chest with me in like a really good, side control position. And then from here, I'm keeping, my left knee up because I'm trying to prevent him from going to mount. I try to hip escape right there, but I was not able to actually like do a knee elbow escape. And he was so heavy on me that I felt like he was overcommitted. Like, he had worked, like he was so committed to keeping his hip on my hip. I felt like his weight was a little bit high. and that I could do this sweep, which like I have not successfully done in a couple of months. So I was pretty pumped to hit it. This is like,
Very pumped
my
for you.
yeah. There was a lot of scramble coaching,
And then
moments from there. Yeah. I think you were surprised to see it because like you had watched this guy's matches, you knew this guy was a stud.
I heard your
so
dad
like
screaming too. We were both pretty hype about that.
Oh, dude, my dad was like, it's actually funny. Like the first match, he was dead quiet. And then like the second match, he was dead quiet. And then like in this match, when I started having even just like a little bit of success, like you could tell he was like getting into it, like he was, I mean, the audio on this, like he was like, what a move, Bill. Like he hasn't seen that one before. Like just like, I was like, I bet he's seen it before. Like this guy's way better than me. Like, but it worked. So some people, like I posted this on Instagram, like some people like reached out to me about it. Like, so this is legit technique. Okay. I know it kind of looks like a YOLO bridge, and it is, maybe not your first or second option, but I didn't feel like I had another viable way of getting out of this. So the things that you need to do, you need to be pushing down on his head with your forearm, framing away. Ideally, he's framed even further. Okay, like where his head is almost like down by your hip. But this dude was so strong, like I tried and like I couldn't get his head further down. The reason that you do that is you don't want him to post on his head. So as you're turning him, you don't want him to stop the action by face planting, basically. Okay, I didn't actually manage to do that, but I managed to get enough momentum that I was able to carry him over anyways. The next part is that you really need to clamp his arm, and it's almost like an omoplata action. So you don't know what that is, but for the jiu-jitsu audience that watches this, an omoplata is with your leg, where you swing it over somebody's shoulder and presses them into the ground. You're doing the same thing here with your arm, but you're clearing space for the head to pass through so that he has no post to stop this action. Also, like if you do it fast enough, he can't post with his left arm there because he basically wasn't expecting it. So let's see how this plays through. If you start losing momentum because the guy is stronger or bigger than you, the other thing is that you can't just rely on a bridge. Like if you can get it with just a bridge, great. But if you start stalling out, you build up to your knees, like to turtle. And that will allow you to get the extra strength to then go all the way through. So I ended up doing all those things here. This was every trick in my... So there's my turtle, right? And then there's pushing all the way through. Let's watch that one time. There's the failed hip escape. Me realizing I'm in deep doo-doo. Pushing down on his head. Yep. That was the highlight of the match. Now you're yelling, let him cook. I go to neon belly. I did not get 2 points for this neon belly. I was kind of disappointed in that. I don't know why. Like I think this is like a legit neon belly position. He gave me 2 for the sweep, but like this is neon belly. Like somebody tell me if I'm wrong on this. So what am I thinking about here? I'm thinking this dude has run through every single opponent that he's met with today. I've got to make something happen. My A game from here is far side underhook with my left arm on his under his elbow, pulling it up to a Kimura, and then going for the Kimura and/or if I can't get that, moving to an armbar. And if I'm being totally honest, like I just totally rushed it. This is not the right position. Like he needs to have his arm further down. I need to have a better hook. And you'll see that I fail spectacularly to actually execute on what I'm trying to do, which is super frustrating because like this is what I drill all the time. This is my best position. I hit this all the time in training. Just not cool. So basically I go to north-south without actually having the underhook. And that was just a huge mistake. Like I need to have the underhook secured before I rush over to north-south. And so I'm going for it right there. I like think that I sort of have like a little bit of an underhook. And so I transition over and I try to get the arm, but he just explodes out. And then from there, like, this is so frustrating too. Like he should not have been able to just suck me into closed guard. Like, what was I thinking? Like, I was just like sitting there in shock that this dude managed to like spin around like this. Like, when I failed to get the Kimura, I should have at least been able to pin him down in the north-south position. But like, I had gone for the Kimura. The Kimura requires that you lift up a little bit, and I missed it. And then he managed to just like overhead press me away, spin around. So I missed north-south. I missed him while he was spinning. And then I'm literally just sitting here staring at him before he grabs me, makes a connection, and sucks me into closed guard. Like, any number of these times, like, I could have like gotten up and pursued him, you know, like just been more aggressive, like whatever. But like, I was trying to think, and I was trying, you know, and it was just happening too fast. But like, in my defense, like, what, this is a second and a half between when I go for the Kimura and then when he gets me into closed guard. So like, from right,
top of the hips. Watch those hips. Watch his hips.
Yeah, but so like to right there, that couldn't have been more than like a second and a half. And he did a lot in a second and a half, and I literally just stood there and stared at him. So here, like, I kind of, yeah, I mean, that's the truth though, right? So like, I'm just recovering right now. I'm just like, I can't believe that happened. Like, I've got to like stay safe in this position for a little while. The match is tied, right? The match is tied right now. So I just wanted to stay safe in this position. He was doing all sorts of stuff that was a weird off balance. And he ends up hitting a super, super awesome hip pump sweep that like just came out of left field. Thinking about breaking his guard here. They end up resetting us back to the middle in a second here. So I'm trying to get out of his guard, but mostly I'm like trying to stay safe. Because I'm very respectful of his ability, you know. And he shows why in a second here.
Yeah, this guy was tough.
I'm doing tough. Some heavy mouth breathing here. Heavy mouth breathing. But it's 2-2, man. Like, I've got this guy in deep water. We're like almost 3 minutes into this match, and it's tied. Like, this dude just ran through everybody else, you know.
I know. Trust me, I was like, this is amazing.
Okay, here we go. So, watch for one of the most epic hip bump sweeps. So he breaks my posture. Okay, so I'm trying to get up. I mean, I got to get that arm off me. Like, this is all wasted energy, right? Like, I'm trying to like stand, and he's just hanging on my head, and I'm like, I'm just gonna power through it. Like, maybe not the best idea. Maybe take my left arm and pop that off, right? Like, you know, but check out my bicep, man. Yeah. Like, I'm pretty pumped here, right? But he is, you know, he's breaking. So he pulls me back down. That was a big moment right there. Pulls me back down. And then boom. Oh, man. So I legitimately didn't know this was a thing. Okay. Oh, man. That's just tough to watch right there. What am I doing? But I had sort of always been under the assumption, and the way that the hip bump sweep is usually taught is when the person on top is postured up. Okay, so they're sitting like back on their heels, and they're like vertical to the ground, and the other person has them in closed guard like this, and the person hops up and knocks him over. Okay, this homie did it from like this position. Like, I didn't know this was a thing, so like I need to go back to like the lab and understand this better, because like I did not think that I was in hip bump sweep territory. You know, like I thought I was pretty safe here. But watch this, he doesn't heist up at all. He just goes over my arm and then just sends it. And man, and then from here, I'm just, and this is when my coach comes in. Like, my coach has been off, you know, like coaching everybody else. And he comes over literally like right when I'm getting mounted. I'm like, oh God. It is what it is. I'm here for the journey. Okay. So I'm in a little bit of shock here, but I want to make sure he didn't isolate my one of my arms to go for like a simple, submission like an Americana or something like that. He's getting higher. I go for a bridge, don't get it, but at least from the bridge, I was able to get my arms back in, right? So now I'm able to start making some space and start shrimping out, right? So we drilled this, in a previous um, time that you and I rolled together, right? So what I do, the classic, basic escape from mount, is you create like this type of a thing on their hip. So this elbow needs to go inside their knee. This arm goes across their body. You get onto your own side, so onto your hip. You're pushing, and then your bottom leg, if you're on your side, your top leg goes over and captures their leg, and you get it in between your leg, and then you're able to get into half guard. Sorry, bad description, but like YouTube it. It's like a very common it's a very common mount escape. You and I drilled it a bunch of times with you and Mount and me doing it to you, right? Mm-hmm. And I attempt to do this, but like his pressure is pretty epic. And as I start turning, so look, I'm trying to turn right here, and I'm about to get my left leg to go over and try to capture his ankle right there. Right when I did that, he stepped up. So all that work that I did to try to get over onto my side and then capture with my left leg, he went to S mount instead. And like, this is a good S mount, but this is not like a picture perfect S mount. Like his right knee should be like a lot closer to my body. Like this dude was just very fluid. And so even if like the technique wasn't always like just absolutely perfect, like he could do it. So I'm defending against so right now, like I know either a back take or an arm bar is coming. And like I don't really know what to do from this position, if I'm being totally honest. Like, it was more just like, I see the end. It's not looking good for me. So I'm just trying to, like, capture my arms. And, like, there's all sorts of armbar escapes that I don't know how to do. There's my dad in the blue shirt, just being like, that's my son. Getting armbarred. Actually, he has like a smile on his face. Like I think he really enjoyed it.
That was a great match, man. That was a great match.
It was a good match, and he was happy for the win. And
I guess the guy who won it and won all his matches.
And he deserved it. Like he was so much better than anybody else. He won the gi division, he won the no gi division, all by submission. He was a stud, right? But so now I'm just back to regular training. As we all know, I submitted a purple belt today. No big deal. Just want to drop that in one more time. I trained up at Cape Cod last week. Did well against out of town competition, just dropping in, did well. So I feel like my game is like trending in the right direction. Like I still have so much to learn. Blue belts and purple belts still beat the crap out of me, but like I feel like I'm getting, I don't want to say I'm getting closer, but like I'm on the right trajectory, where I'm continuing to get better. So definitely. How's your jiu-jitsu trajectory? Do you feel like you're continuing to get better?
I'm gunning for them 130 dumbbells. I'm gunning for the 130s.
Yeah, your lifting progression is going great.
I'm closer to the 130s now. After this
130s,
week.
Dude. I think the most I've ever done, like flat bench press, like with dumbbells. Dude, I think the most I've ever done is like 80s, maybe, like for a set of like 3, like.
Yeah, I think I did 3. I did 3 for 125 last Wednesday or Friday.
And that was like peak strength, like not now. Nice. Probably, yeah. I'm probably at the 70s now. Yeah,
but. Nice, man. Well, good job. I'm so glad to be a part of that experience. I got to go pick up my kids.
Yeah, sorry for keeping you long, man.
I'm glad I went. I'm glad I got. No. Like I said, I'm so happy that I went to the tournament. It was a great experience, and I'm so proud of you. As corny, as cheesy as it may sound, because it takes a lot to put it out there, man. Like even just the little experience of the competitive side that we all have, probably to one degree or another. There's a lot of butterflies and crazy feelings.
I haven't felt like that, good job, Bill, in a long time. Like when I boxed for like a year at the Naval Academy, like that's how it would feel like going in there to go get your skull beat in, you know, like, but it's been a long time since I felt, because you know, like you could get hurt, you know, and it's going to be you against somebody else, and there's all those people there, and it's going to be on the podcast with our 5 viewers, you know, like it's it's so all right, hey, next week we got to get it in, man. Okay, I got to get you back on the mats. All right, cool, dude. Thank you.
Gotta do it.
Have a good one. Bye.
All right.
See ya.
Later,
Bye.
everybody.